Hey look, the trash bags in the corner are gone. I threw them out, like the adult that I am. It only took 10 days. Hello, today I'm going to be giving some advice on moving out of your parents' house specifically. Did I really have to specify that? If you're really wondering, here are my credentials. So I moved out of my parents' house twice, and the first time was for undergrad, and the second time now is for grad school. I feel like I've gained a lot of wisdom, and I can give you some pretty good pieces of advice, so let's just get started. So the sucky thing about moving out is that you have to prepare yourself with the fact that you are going to be lonely. When you were living with your parents or your guardians, you had this sort of unit beforehand, and you had people to talk to, you had a friends group, but now that you're in this new place, nobody knows you, and that can get kind of sucky. The first thing you should know is that that's not totally something out of the ordinary. A lot of people feel very lonely once they move out and move into a new place. So you're in the majority of lonely people. Yay! Make sure you're pushing yourself into going to see people and going to talking to new people. That's how you make friends. It's not like high school out here where you're just stuck with a bunch of people for however many years. Some ways you could make new friends is by joining a club on campus, or joining even a book club, or even starting a booktube channel and just making online friends like this girl right here. So a lot of furniture is optional, but it is nice to have a few things. Like, it's good to have a couch. That way you can invite friends over and you have a place for them all to sit down and socialize. Couches are probably the most difficult thing to move in the house because it is so heavy. Oh my goodness, guys, so heavy. I cannot lift one. It is that impossibly heavy. So an alternative to getting a couch is getting a futon, and that's around probably less than $100, and it's pretty lightweight and you could just transport it pretty easily into your living room. It's also pretty nice to have a dining table and chairs so that you have some place to eat, and also you could host dinner parties. That's pretty cool. But there are some really mandatory furniture, like a sleeping place, a mattress, bed area, and lighting. Like, OMG lighting. Some places are not built in with any lighting in it, so you're going to have to buy your own. You never know how dark a place can be when there's no lighting inside of it. It's also good to have some storage stuff for your clothes and for other things that you might want to keep but you don't want to keep out. I also highly recommend you get a desk and chair, because if you're going to be sitting down a lot and you might just be sitting on your bed, it's better for your back if you sit on a nice comfy office chair or even a yoga ball. Here's some nice things to have that you don't necessarily need, but you know, it's nice. A bookcase would be really nice. It doesn't even have to hold solely books, but you know, books are cool. You can also purchase some hangers, and hangers could go into your closet and just keep your clothes nice and not wrinkled. And maybe while you're at it, get a few end tables. Like, end tables are the invisible heroes of the world. They hold all our stuff, but we never notice them. Also get some hooks so you could put all your bags and your jackets on there for convenience sake. Here's another tip. Don't be ashamed to get free furniture, because people are always throwing out furniture right and left, and it's okay if you come by your car and you open your trunk and you put the free furniture inside the trunk. That's okay. I won't judge you. For more of the nitty-gritty everyday stuff, I suggest you take inventory weeks before you actually move out. If your room doesn't have enough wall sockets, then buy a power board. And you're more than likely going to move into a place that you don't own, so it's good not to put tacks in the wall and put holes in the wall. Instead, use adhesive putty. That should hold your stuff up on your wall, like legit, like magic, in a weird Play-Doh thing. But now let's move on to the subject of eating. Eating really becomes its own struggle once you move out, because when you were living at home, you didn't have to worry about feeding yourself. The one thing you'll find is that you're a lot hungrier than you once thought you were. So right when you move in, it's good to buy a few of your favorite cereals and milk of your choice, so at least you have some really easy and familiar meals right when you're settling in. Then after that, it's good to buy the basics, like olive oil, salt, pepper, ketchup. Everyone needs ketchup. Also sugar. Sugar is super important. And as you live your new life, you're going to start experimenting with different foods, so you're gonna get a lot more different ingredients after that to store in your cabinet, so don't worry about that. You're also going to need some sharp knives, and the sharper they are, the more time they save with cooking. Also, it's good to have a cutting board, different pots and pans, wooden spoons and spatulas. That's super important. Don't get hardware spatulas and spoons in order to make your food, because that's going to ruin the bottom of your pans. I know that from experience. Get a Brita. And a water Brita is basically a pitcher, but it also has a water filter built in. So just pour some tap water in there and you'll have some purified water to drink as you go along. It's great to stay hydrated. And finally, in the kitchen, get a dish rack. A dish rack is so important. And preferably get one with a small thing at the bottom to catch all the dripping water. And if you've moved out, you're more than likely a very young adult at this moment in time. So get an agenda or calendar in order to keep track of your things. And there's a lot of things to keep track of. A few examples are the utility bills, the internet bill, doctor or dentist appointments, eye exams, school events, or any other event that you want to go to. And also it's good to know a few basic rules of living. Some include, don't put foil in the microwave unless you want your microwave to turn into fire. Or don't pour hot oil into the sink. Yeah, sure, it looks like water, but the science behind oil and fats is that if it's heated, it becomes very liquidy, but once it solidifies, it becomes kind of a solid, and that can clog your sink. And when you're cutting things with a knife, don't cut towards yourself. Don't do that. If the sharp end of the knife at all points to any of your skin, don't do it that way. Cut away from yourself. It's also a good rule of thumb to clean as you go, and that includes changing clothes or making food. Some very important ones that you'll learn along the way is to make mistakes and learn from them. And also, don't really worry about what it means to be an adult, because there is no such thing as adulthood. There really is only learning, doing, and being, so just try to be good at those things and you'll be fine. I hope some of these pieces of advice were good for you, but these are things I'm kind of going through right now, so I thought I'd make a video about it. And anyways, you've reached the end of this video, so I am just going to awkwardly send you off. Bye. Why did I think that I didn't have a new release that I really wanted? The Winds of Winter. I need that book!